Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of my channel, Kylie Kogel's Bookworks. I'm going to be running you through my February wrap-up. Alright, so in February this month, I read 17 books, which is 2 more than last month, but I'm still, I think 8 books behind on my Goodreads goal. So the first book I read was a book about Van Gogh. It was just a brief overview about his life and went through some of his works that he did. The next one I read was Sawkill Girls by, I believe it was Legrand. Honestly, I did not love the book. I think that the writing could have been better, and so could the plot. I think personally, I'm just not a fan of Claire Legrand's work. The next book I read was Demons of the Ocean by Justin Somper. It's part of a series called Vampirates, where it's basically there's these vampire pirates that have this ship on the ocean. It reminds me a lot of the Pirates of the Caribbean, the Black Pearl, the first film. So that's obviously why I read it. I actually read this series, I believe in 4th grade, so it was a while ago. And I decided to reread it because I remembered it at 11 p.m. at night. So the next book I read was Tomboy, The Surprising History and Future of Girls Who Dare to Be Different by Lisa Selin Davis. This talked a lot about the history of the word tomboy and sort of the fluctuating gender roles that we've had over time, and just sort of understanding the way that society labels things as masculine or feminine, even if it's things such as, being an engineer or being a nurse. The next book I read was The House in the Cerulean Sea. I do not remember the author's name, but that will be below. So this, I think it was popular among a couple of my friends, but it was an okay book. It reminded me a lot of, I do not remember the name, but there was the Benedict Secret Society, I think. It reminded me a lot of that. I thought, I really liked the found family trope, and I thought that that was really cute. But personally, I didn't really love the writing style, but I did think that it was a really cute story. Next, I read Black Canary, Breaking Silence. This was just a short, probably more middle grade, early YA fiction book about Black Canary, and I think it's based more on the comics. I have not read the comics. I know a little bit about them. I think it was based more on that. I really enjoyed Dinah's character, and I also really liked Oliver's character. But overall, it was enjoyable, but it wasn't anything super special. But it was a good read. Next, I read All This Time, which I believe it was written by the same authors who wrote 5 Feet Apart. Now that I think about it, it took me a second to remember the plot. It wasn't completely memorable, but it was really cute, and it's just a cute read. And then the next book I read was The Magician's Nephew by C.S. Lewis. I am going to read all of the Chronicles of Narnia books, which I think the farthest I've gotten is probably Prince Caspian, and I haven't finished from there. But if you've been here a while, you remember from a couple months ago for my book haul, I think in October, I got a big collection of C.S. Lewis Chronicles of Narnia. So I'm working my way through that. Next, I read Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. The first chapter, it was hard for me to get invested, but once I sat down and I read it, it was really good. I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed that theme of acceptance and accepting who you are, and other people finally accepting who you are. And the next book I read was The Perks of Being a Wallflower, which I have seen the movie, and the book was really good. I expected myself to cry, but I didn't cry, and I think that's probably because I already cried during the movie, so I knew what to expect. Next, I read Tweet Cute, which was I'm part of a Goodreads group, and that was our book of the month. Um, so it was just a cute, like, enemies to lovers in high school, just sort of, yeah. um, so it was just really cute, and it was like 300 pages, and it was just like a nice relaxing read, and I didn't get like completely invested into it, but I enjoyed myself reading it. The next book I read is I finally read The Tower of Nero by Rick Riordan, which I bought the book probably in December or early January, so it's been sitting on my shelf for 2 months. But I finally read that, and I am probably going to do a review of The Trials of Apollo. So probably look for that sometime this month. And I thought it was a really good book. I really enjoyed seeing how Lester slash Apollo's character really developed. I would have liked to see more of where everybody was at the end, because I feel like when you get these like 2-page snapshots of where everybody is, it's disorienting and confusing, and it's not built well into the plot. For example, like what happened with Piper, I think that deserved more attention. And I think that, Riordan needs to, when he wrote those snapshots, he needed to be mindful of his characters and their development instead of just sort of throwing them in for mini cameos just for the readers. As much as I enjoyed it, but I think it could have been done better. Next, I had to read The Crucible for English class. I took a quiz on it, which I completely failed, but I read the book, so I don't know what happened. All I know is like witchy stuff happened and Salem witch trials, and basically, yeah, that's basically the book. Next I read Super Fake Love Song by David Yoon, and I thought this was a really cute book. I really enjoyed watching Cirrus and Sunny fall in love and just sort of figure out who they were, and it was really cute. I really enjoyed it. Next, I read Blood and Honey, which it started out pretty good, but then at the end, I think that Shelby Mahurin, I think that's her last name, the way that she wrote it was very rushed at the end. Like, I feel like it's one of those things where I have a hard time getting the conflict or the action, and it's just sort of big long paragraphs and I don't know what's going on. But it was meh. It's supposed to be enemies to lovers. In the first book, to be completely honest, I read the first book probably like 6 months ago, so I don't really remember it, but it was okay. It was okay. Next I read They Both Die at the End, which I heard a lot of people cried at the end. I didn't cry. It might just be because I don't cry a lot, but I thought the plot could have been better. I thought it was really cute though. Like, I enjoyed reading it, and I think I gave it like a 3 or 4 stars, but the plot could have been better and the writing could have been better, but like, I enjoyed it. So next we have The Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu. I thought it was gonna be more like a historical fiction where you're just sort of following somebody's life. Instead, it was more of a like fantasy historical fiction where Lu mixed in like fantasy with the historical fiction. It was good. It just wasn't what I was expecting. I think that for me, it was hard to imagine a real person mixing in with that much fantasy. I still really enjoyed Lu's writing, and I still need to read her other books, so we'll get there eventually. Alright, so that was all 17 books that I read. So as I said earlier, I'm going to have a review for the Trials of Apollo series out sometime this month, and then also there are important links below for Black Lives Matter and helping out Indigenous peoples. If you have any questions, contact me. If you need anything, let me know. I think that's it. So, anyways, I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful week and stay safe, everybody.